Juan Mendez Scott's Mystery Magazine.
Juan Mendez Scott's The Bachelor Party. Chapter 12, The Edge of the River. The next day, I found myself at Fort Washington Park, standing on the edge of the river, staring out at the water. The wind had calmed, leaving the Potomac smooth and reflective, like a sheet of glass. It was a stark contrast to the storm that had raged the night before. Both outside and within me, the air was heavy with the scent of earth and water, the quiet of the morning broken only by the occasional bird call or the distant sound of traffic. I'd driven here without thinking, the limo gliding through the early morning mist, almost on autopilot. I needed to get away, needed space to think, to breathe. The events of the previous night were a blur in my mind, fragments of horror and guilt that I couldn't piece together. The river offered a semblance of peace, a place where I could try to find some clarity. But even here, the weight of everything followed me, pressing down on my shoulders like an unbearable burden. I leaned against the side of the limo, my eyes locked on the river. The water was calm, deceptively so, hiding the currents beneath the surface. It reminded me of myself, the stillness on the outside, barely containing the turmoil underneath. I felt like I was drowning, and there was no one around to throw me a lifeline. The limo's minibar was stocked, and I knew it. The thought had been nagging at me since I'd parked, a temptation that was growing harder to resist with every passing minute. The memory of the whiskey I'd drunk the night before lingered on my tongue, and I could almost taste it again, feel the burn as it slid down my throat, the numbness that followed. It would be so easy to open the bar, pour myself a drink, and let the alcohol do its work, numbing, silencing, erasing. But I didn't move. I just stood there, staring at the river, wrestling with the temptation that gnawed at me. I hadn't felt this low in a long time, not since the day I lost everything. Tasha, the baby, my future. The memories flooded back, each one a fresh wound, each one cutting deeper than the last. I saw Tasha's face, the way she had looked at me that day in the hospital, her eyes filled with a mix of sadness and something else, something like disappointment. We'd been so close to starting a new chapter in our lives, a family, a future together. But it had all been ripped away in an instant, leaving nothing but emptiness behind. And Des, he'd swooped in like a vulture, picking at the remains of what I'd lost, taking Tasha for himself. I closed my eyes, trying to push the memories away, but they were relentless. I could see her, holding our baby for the briefest of moments before it was gone. I could hear Dez's voice, mocking, taunting, reminding me of everything I'd failed to keep, everything I'd lost. The guilt was overwhelming, a weight that I couldn't shake off, no matter how hard I tried. The limo was silent, the minibar still unopened, but the temptation was growing stronger. I wanted to drown in it, to forget everything, even if just for a little while. The pain, the loss, the betrayal, they were all too much to bear. I felt like I was at the edge of a cliff, teetering, about to fall, and all I had to do was let go. My phone buzzed in my pocket, breaking through the dark thoughts that clouded my mind. I pulled it out, my heart skipping a beat, when I saw Nia's name on the screen. For a moment, I considered ignoring it, letting it go to voicemail, but something made me answer. Nia? My voice was hoarse, as if I hadn't spoken in days. Malik, hey. Her voice was warm, a stark contrast to the cold that had settled into my bones. I heard about Des. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Her concern cut through the fog of despair that had surrounded me, bringing me back to the present, to the here and now. I didn't know how to answer her. Was I okay? No, not by a long shot, but I couldn't bring myself to say that, couldn't admit just how far I'd fallen. I'm managing, I said finally, the lie bitter on my tongue. It's been a rough couple of days. I can only imagine, she replied, her voice soft. But I'm here, Malik. If you need to talk, if you need anything, I'm here. Her words were like a lifeline, something to hold on to in the midst of the storm. I could feel the tears welling up, the ones I hadn't allowed myself to shed, the ones I'd been holding back for so long. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to break down. Not now. Not when I was so close to the edge. Nia, I don't know what to do, I admitted, my voice trembling. Everything's it's too much. I can't seem to find my way out of this. Malik, listen to me, she said, her tone firm but gentle. You're stronger than you think. I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but you are. You've been through hell and back, and you're still here. That means something. I wanted to believe her, wanted to cling to the hope she was offering, but it felt so far out of reach. I don't know if I can keep going, I confessed, the words spilling out before I could stop them. I've lost so much, Naya. Tasha, the baby, Des, even myself. I don't know if there's anything left to hold on to. There is, Malik, she insisted, her voice filled with conviction. There's a future for you, a better one than you can imagine right now. I know it feels hopeless, but it's not. You're not alone in this. I'm here for you, and so are others. Don't give up on yourself. Her words hit me hard, cutting through the despair like a beam of light piercing through the darkness. I wanted to believe her, wanted to see that brighter future she was talking about, but I was still standing on the edge, still tempted to fall, to let the darkness take me. Naya, I don't know what to do, I whispered, my tears trying their best to drop, but my cheeks remained dry. I'm so lost. It's okay to feel lost, Malik, she said softly, but you can find your way back. Just take it one step at a time. Don't try to fix everything at once. Just take the first step. I wiped at my tearless eyes. What's the first step? Put down the bottle, she said, her voice gentle but firm. You don't need it, Malik. You're stronger than that. You've made it this far without it. Don't let it pull you back down. I glanced at the minibar. The bottles inside, still untouched. I could almost feel their pull, the temptation to drown everything in that amber liquid. But Nia's voice was in my ear, steady and reassuring, reminding me that there was another way, a better way. I took a deep breath, exhaling slowly as I let her words sink in. Okay, I said finally, my voice steadying. I'll try. That's all I'm asking, Malik, she said, relief evident in her tone. Just take it one step at a time. And remember, I'm here, you're not alone. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Thank you, Naya. I needed to hear that. Any time, Malik. And remember, you have a future. Don't let this take it away from you. As I ended the call, I felt a strange sense of calm settle over me. The storm outside had begun to fade, the rain still falling but lighter now, the wind no longer howling. I took one last look at the minibar, then turned away, leaving it behind. I walked to the edge of the river, watching the water flow, steady and unyielding. Nia was right. I'd made it through hell and back, and I was still standing. Maybe, just maybe, I could find a way through this too.
On the next episode of Juan Mendez Scott's Mystery Magazine, The Bachelor Party Chapter 13, The Distant Rumble of Thunder.